Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to share these lovely bunny hats with you. If you have made my teddy hats before, the basic hat pattern is the same, and I will just be changing up the ears to make it into a bunny hat. Today I'll be showing you the newborn size. If you would like to make it in any other size, don't forget to check out the free written pattern on my blog with more sizes. You will find the link in the description box below. For the girl version, I also show you how to make these flowers. They are really cute, and you can use any leftover DK weight yarn in your stash to add the cute flowers to your hat. To make this hat, I used Minute baby blanket yarn, which is a size 6 super bulky weight yarn, and I used them in colors baby pink, baby sand, vanilla, and seafoam. Along with it, I used a 10mm hook for the main hat, an 8mm hook for the ears, and a 3.5mm hook for the tiny flowers. Again, I used my leftover DK weight yarn to make these tiny flowers. So gather your supplies and let's get started. To work round 1 of the hat, I will show you two methods, one with a magic ring and one without. So you can choose whichever one you're comfortable with. So let's do the one without a magic ring. Start with a slip knot. Chain 3. Work 2 single crochet into the second chain from your hook. This is the first and this is the second. So work 2 single crochet into the second chain from your hook. That's 1, and that is 2. Work 4 single crochet in the next chain. 1, 2, 3, and 4, all into the same chain. Now you will be at the bottom of your foundation chain. Now work 2 single crochet in to the next free loop of your foundation chain here. I would like to go under the junction of the 2 loops rather than going into just one like that, because it's going to leave a hole. So I will go into the junction of the 2 loops and work 2 single crochet. This leaves a hole as well, but we will close it while weaving in the tail, and it's a tinier hole. So now we should have 8 stitches around our work. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So we should have 8 stitches, and we won't slip stitch at the end of round 1. So now I'm going to show you how to work this round with a magic ring. To make a magic ring, with the tail or the end of your skein in front of your hands, wrap it around 2 fingers loosely like that. Insert your hook from behind into that circle you formed and pull up a loop. Now hold the base of that loop and chain 1. And before I proceed, I like to take the tail out like that. And now I'll go ahead and work 8 single crochet into this ring right here, working over the tail as well. It is going to feel a little odd. Just work your single crochet into the ring, and every time I pull up a loop, I try to bring my fingers to the base and hold the loop so I have more control, and then I yarn over and complete a single crochet. So insert your hook into the loop, pull up a loop. Now when you have 2 loops left on your hook, move your hand to the base of the loop that you just pulled up, and then yarn over and pull through 2. Keep repeating that. Now we have worked 2 and 6 more to go. Insert your hook into the circle, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2. So that's the third one. So let's go ahead and work a total of 8. 4, 5. Notice every time I pull up a loop, I move my hands to the base of that loop and hold it so I can easily pull my hook through. How many do I have now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. 2 more to go. 1 and 2. So I've completed my 8 single crochet into the magic ring. I keep calling it a circle, sorry. So now it's a time to pull and close this ring, and that's why it's called a magic ring. So I would suggest you pull it gently and not make it too tight. Just enough to close that hole. Yeah, like that. So now we have completed round 1 with a magic ring, and we should be having 8 stitches around. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So now let's proceed to round 2. Now let's begin round 2. We did not slip stitch at the end of round 1, so we will work directly into the first stitch of round 1 next. So work 2 single crochet into the next stitch, the first stitch of round 1, to begin your round 2. So I'm going to work 2 single crochet in the next stitch. That's 1 and that is 2. And now I will mark my first stitch, and that will indicate the beginning of round 2. Now work 2 single crochet in each of the next 7 stitches. You don't have to keep counting. When you reach the stitch right before the marked one, this is the marked stitch, and this is a stitch before the marked stitch. And when you work 2 single crochet into that, that means you have completed the round. So go ahead and work 2 single crochet in each of the next 7 stitches to end in the stitch right before the marked one. So 2 single crochet in each stitch. And at the end you should have 16 single crochet stitches. Your round 1 had 8. Now we are doubling it with 2 stitches in each, so you will have a total of 16 stitches at the end of round 2. So I just have 1 more stitch to work into because the next one is the marked one. I'll work 2 into the last stitch. And that completes round 2. You won't slip stitch at the end. So this completes round 2, and we can count the number of stitches around. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and the marked one, which is the first stitch. That is 16. So now let's begin round 3. Take off the marker. Work a single crochet into it, just 1 single crochet. That is the first stitch of round 3. So we will place a marker in that stitch. Now work 2 single crochet in the next stitch, and in the next you will work 1, then 2 in the next, 1 in the next, 2 in the next, 1 in the next. So you go 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2 all the way until you end in the stitch right before the marked stitch. Since you started with 1 single crochet, your last stitch. In the last stitch you will be ending with 2 single crochet. So let's begin. We have already worked 1 single crochet in the first stitch. Now we will work 2 in the next, 1 in the next, 2 in the next, 1 in the next, 2 in the next, 1, 2 in the next one, 1 in the next stitch, 2 in the next. Keep working like that, 1 2 1 2 1 2 all the way to the last stitch. And after this round you should have 24 stitches. One, and in the last stitch right before the marked stitch I will be working 2 single crochet to complete round 3. And if you count your stitches around, you should have 24 stitches including the marked stitch here. And now we'll start our even rows without any increases. That is, we'll keep working 1 single crochet into each stitch around, but we'll still use the marker so we can count the number of rows. After you remove the marker, work a single crochet into the marked stitch. Place the marker back. That will indicate the first stitch of round 4. Now work 1 single crochet in each stitch across all the way to the end. You can stop when you work a single crochet in the stitch right before the marked one. That is how you know you have completed the round. So this is round 4, our first even round with no increases. And now that is the last stitch I will work into, because I'm right before the marked stitch. I will work a single crochet into that stitch, and that means I have come to the end of row 4. And now we have to work 3 more repeats of row 4. That is 3 more even rounds until our hat is 4.5 inches tall. So go ahead, take off the marker, and just like you worked round 4, work 1 stitch in each stitch around, and don't forget to place the marker back in the first stitch of the round. That is, every time you work into the marked stitch, move it up into the stitch you work into the marked one. So go ahead, work 3 more even rows, and I'll meet you back. This is how it looks after completing 3 more rounds, and it should measure around 4.5 inches in height. If you think it's shorter, if you think it's short, much shorter than 4.5, I would advise you add 1 more row here before proceeding with the next steps. And at this point, before working your next stitches, I want you to make sure your hat can lie flat. I found that it doesn't lie flat in some directions like this, see? So you have to find where it can really lie flat like that, so it would be easier for us to attach the ears. So this way it looks good. Now find that fold where it works, where it will lay flat, and then we can proceed to the next step. So before working the last round, what we will do is work single crochet stitches all the way to the fold here and slip stitch to the back loop only of the stitch on the side, and then we will begin the last round. So let's go ahead, take this marker out, we won't be needing it anymore. Work a single crochet all the way until you reach near that fold. And now I have reached the side. Now slip stitch into the next stitch. You have to work your slip stitch loose and not tight. To make sure it's loose, pull up that loop on your hook just a bit and then work your slip stitch. Now chain 1. Place a marker in that slip stitch. Work a single crochet in the back loop only of the next stitch. This is the back loop and this is the front loop of the stitch, so you will go under just the back loop and not under 2 loops like you regularly do. So just go under the back loop and then work a single crochet. That loop is too loose, so go under the back loop only and work a single crochet in the next stitch and each stitch around until you reach the marked slip stitch. So work a single crochet in the back loop only of each stitch around until you hit the marked stitch. I'm now near the marker and I just have one more stitch before the marked stitch. I'll work a single crochet into the back loop only of that stitch. I'll take out the marker and work a single crochet into the back loop of that slip stitch, and then without fastening off, I'll just pull the tail out and trim it. And we will end with an invisible join to make our work look neater. So thread the yarn tail. Remember, I did not fasten off as usual, I just pulled it out. To fasten off, you gently chain 1 and then knot it. We don't do that here, just pull it out through the stitch. You can see it's emerging from the stitch like that. And now skip the next visible stitch, which is the beginning chain, and go under the next stitch, under both the loops of the next stitch like that, and go into the very last stitch from where this tail is emerging. Go into the same place again. So that will create a fake stitch and an even edge for your hat. There will be no staggering there. So we've completed the hat and now we can go ahead and weave in that tail. So go back and forth a couple of times, in and out through the stitches. Don't tug too tight. And now go in the reverse direction, in and out through the loops. You can go one more time if you want, or trim it now. That's up to you. Now let's weave in the beginning tail. And if you started with a magic ring, it's very crucial that you weave in the tail very securely or your hat is going to fall apart. So if you used a magic ring, you have to weave it in this direction, go back, and then back again to make sure it's secure. If you started with a regular slip knot, then you just can go ahead and weave it in the regular way. Just go back and forth a few times. But in this, I like to go in a circle around the magic ring. Don't pull it too tight. And then go back in a circle like that. You don't have to go all the way, but then make sure you go in 3 different directions around the opening. Now I'm going to go back again one more time. And now you can go ahead and trim that yarn. Now turn it inside out again and find where your hat can lie flat. Sorry about that, I just hit my camera. So okay, that looks good. And now we are ready to attach the ears. And you can see the free loop running here, which gives the brim a nice look. So now let's go ahead and make a couple of ears and cut back and attach them to the top of your hat. To begin making the ears, switch to the 8mm crochet hook, leave a ½ yard tail, and then chain 5. Make sure you don't tighten that first slip knot on your hook very much. It should have enough give because we will be working a lot of stitches into that. So begin chaining and make a total of 5 chains. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now work a single crochet into the second chain from your hook. This is the first chain and this is the second. So work a single crochet into the second chain. Work a single crochet into the next 2 chains. Work 4 single crochet into the very last chain right here. Work 4 single crochet, 1, 2, 3, and don't work over your yarn tail, leave it at the base like that, and work 1 more single crochet into the same stitch. Now work 1 single crochet into each of the 3 loops here. 1, 2, and 3. Work a single crochet into each of them. Now you have reached the top of your ears, and here you have the beginning chain 1 that you skipped. So go under both the loops here and work 3 single crochet on the top. 1, 2, and 3. And now we have reached back on this side and to the very first stitch that you see here. Work 2 single crochet into the back loop only. Every stitch has a back loop and a front loop. So you will go under just the back loop and work 2 single crochet stitches. Go into the back loop only and work 2 single crochet stitches. Now work 1 single crochet in the back loop only of the next 5 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 all the way to the base. Work only into the back loop. 1 single crochet, 2 single crochet, 3 single crochet, 4 single crochet, and the very last one, which is the 5th one. And now you can pull this tail for around, again, 8 inches or half a yard, and then cut it off. Now pull it out, give it a nice tug, and this is how the finished ears look before you attach it to your hat. So go ahead, make one more in the same pattern, and I'll meet you and show you how to attach the ears to your hat. Thread the yarn tail on the right side through a yarn needle. Go from this side to the opposite side along the base. Like that. Now go under the next stitch and the stitch on the opposite side to pinch it. So now you have the ears pinched at the base like that. Repeat with the other ear, that is, use the yarn tail on the right to go in this direction, up into the next stitch and back into the stitch right across. So you have both your tails coming out at the base and your ears pinched. Once you have cinched both your ears at the base, position your ears and see where you like it. I like placing it on the third round from the top. 1, 2, 3. I like placing it there and slightly slanted like that. So let's first attach this ear, and you will then go ahead and attach the other one in the same way. So this is where I will attach it, on the third round from the top. Use the yarn tail on the right side and take your needle into the hat along the base of that third round. And now bring the needle up back through the hat and through the base of the ears. And now go into the hat again. Catching one loop on the ear and then going into the hat. Come back out again and go in through the base of the ears like that. That's still wobbly, so go in through the very edge or the side of your ear and then in to the hat again. So now it's pretty sturdy. Now we'll leave that tail alone and thread the next one. We used the tail of the right side to go from here to here. Now we will use this tail on the left to go from here to here in the opposite direction so that it's attached very well to your hat. Now thread the other yarn tail, pass it through the base of the ear into the hat, pull, come back up, and catch the base of the ear. Make sure you have the slant that you want. Now go back in again through one loop on the base of the ear and into your hat. Up again through the hat and one loop on your ears, and down back into the hat again. So now your ears are attached and pretty sturdy. You can do one more stitch here if you want. Up again. And down into the hat. Now you can go ahead and knot the two ends together. And then you can weave in the tail, weave in both the tails, going back and forth a couple of times. So that will make sure your hat won't fall, your ears won't move, and will be firmly attached to your hat. I'm just going back and forth once and then trimming the yarn. Weave in the other tail in the same way. So you have one ears attached there, and now go ahead and attach the other ear on this side, and then your hat will be done. And I'll show you how to make the flowers to attach to the ears if you want to make the flower version for your girls. This is how the hat looks once you have attached both the ears. Now let's go ahead and see how to make the flowers and attach it to the ears. To make the rolled roses or the flower, use the 3.5mm crochet hook and some DK weight yarn or size 3 yarn, and leave a 10-inch tail and chain 16. This is a very easy flower and you don't have to work in the round. You'll see what I mean in just a moment. So go ahead and chain 16. I have now chained 16, and now let's begin working the flower. Work 2 half double crochet into the third chain from your hook. This is the first one, this is the second. So into the third one you will work 2 half double crochet stitches. Now work 2 half double crochet into the next 7 chains. Two half double crochet into each of the next 7 chains. So that is the first one, and we have to work 2 half double crochet in 6 more. That's the second one. So go ahead and work 2 half double crochet in the next 7 chains. So you can see that it's rolling by itself. If you lose your count, you can keep repeating 2 half double crochet in each chain until you have 6 chains left. So let's see how many I have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I have worked into the next 7 chains already. So into the next 4 I will work 2 double crochet stitches. Sorry. Until now we were working 2 half double crochet. In the next 4 chains we will work 2 double crochet stitch each. That's 1 double crochet, 2 double crochet. That's in the first stitch. 2 double crochet in the next. So that's the second one. 2 double crochet in the third, and 2 double crochet in the fourth chain. Now work 2 half double crochet in the next. Until now we were working double crochet. Now we are switching to half double crochet again. That is 2 half double crochet in the next chain and end with a single crochet in the very last chain. Now you can fasten off with a 10-inch tail. Now if you roll it, you have to make sure you roll from the side where there are no tails. Roll your rose like that. And you have a cute rolled rose. And we will use this tail to hold it in shape, and I'll show you how to do that. Once you have rolled your rose into shape, we have to hold it in place. So thread the bottom yarn tail through a yarn needle, and then we will run it back and forth here, catching all the layers. Just run along the base all the way to the other side. Now check if you have caught all the layers and it's moving or not. Do that a few times, back and forth. I'll go one more time through all the layers to make sure it holds well, and also to make sure that my tail is emerging from the opposite side. So one tail should be from this side and the other one should be on the other side of the flower. Now take the needle out and let's fix this edge along the top. So thread the top yarn tail now, and we need to fix that edge right onto the flower like that. So go up like that, and then go along the back and up like that. Now these two tails are closer together, so I would run my needle back to the edge of the flower like that. I want them at least 3 by 4 inch apart. So now I have the two tails coming from opposite sides, and I have the flower holding its shape like I want it to. You can use the tail to adjust further. If you don't like the way it looks, you can run a few more times. So now this flower is ready to attach to your hat. So make 2 more in the colors you like, and I'll show you how to add the flowers to the ears of your bunny hat. Let's see how to attach the 3 flowers to a hat. I like placing the first one right to the base of the ear like that, and then the next 2 very close together, and all of them have to be like packed together and huddled together like that. That's how I like it. So let's begin with the top one. We'll attach that, and then we'll do these 2. Thread one of the tails, and take it into the hat. Now thread the other yarn tail and bring it into the hat at least 3 by 4 inches or 3 1/4 inches away from where you put the first one. So that will make sure that your flower is positioned and it stays there well. Now look into the hat and gently tie them together. Don't make it too tight, but just tight enough so that it stays put. Make a couple of knots. Now thread the yarn tail again. This flower has a short one. It shouldn't be. It should be pretty long. And now we can go through the hat and come up and go through the base of the flower like that, and come this side and go down into the hat like that. Now use the other tail to do the same, that is come up over the hat and then go under the flower and into the hat. So go up the flower, go in the opposite direction. The first time if you went from here to here, this time let's go from here to here. So it goes like that, and then we want to go from here to here, catching the layer under the flower so that it stays firmly attached to your hat. I'm going under the flower and then into the hat. And now you can make a couple of knots again and trim the yarn, and it should stay well and not come off. Maybe you can make 3 knots. And now you can go ahead and trim that yarn. So we have now attached our first flower. It stays well because we had sewn through the base of the flower a couple of times. You can reinforce it further if you want. And now go ahead and attach the next 2 flowers very close to the first flower, just like we attached this one. Take your time doing it. Go in and out of the hat, look inside the hat, and then go up again and run through the base of the flower and back into the hat again. Do that a few times and your flower will not fall off at all. If you enjoyed working these cute hats with me, don't forget to subscribe and press that bell icon to receive notifications when I post new patterns. And don't forget to like and comment. Thank you so much for watching.